There's a reason some people seem unshaken, no matter what life throws at them. The world sends them chaos, people insult them, plans fall apart, setbacks arrive back to back, and yet they remain still, calm, untouched by the storm. What? Do they know that others don't? Most of us live in a constant state of emotional reaction. Someone cuts us off in traffic, instant anger. A co-worker makes a snide comment. Our whole mood shifts. A stranger gives a strange look, and suddenly we doubt ourselves. Life becomes a roller coaster of reactions, but it doesn't have to be. Carl Jung once said, "Most people are prisoners of their own reactions." They believe life is happening to them when in truth, life is often reflecting what's unresolved within them. Here's the hard truth. Nothing can truly disturb your peace unless it finds a crack inside you. If someone calls you a failure and it hurts, it's because part of you fears it might be true. If someone disrespects you and you erupt in anger, it's because you're still seeking recognition from outside yourself. Two people can experience the same event and respond in entirely different ways. Why? Because it's never just about what happens. It's about what's happening inside you, and that's where your power begins. What many call triggers are not external attacks. They're internal messages. Annoyance, frustration, emotional pain. These are signals, not problems. But most people ignore the signal. They suppress it, or worse, blame the world for it. This is where shadow work comes in. Shadow work is the process of confronting the unconscious patterns that shape your reactions. It's the willingness to face the parts of yourself that you've buried, your insecurities, your need for approval, your fear of failure. Jung described the shadow as the dark side of the psyche, not evil but unconscious. And here's the key. Your emotional triggers are often breadcrumbs leading straight to your shadow. Think of your emotions as mirrors. If someone triggers you, ask, what is this reflecting back to me? What in me is still unresolved? Because the truth is, the world can only trigger what you still carry. The insult doesn't hurt because of what they said. It hurts because it echoes something you already believe deep down. But once you bring the unconscious into the light, the game changes. You stop blaming. You start observing. You stop reacting. You start responding. And eventually, you stop getting pulled into the chaos of others because there's no part of you left for it to hook onto. Practical tool. Try trigger journaling. Next time you're emotionally activated, ask yourself, what emotion did I feel? Where did I feel it in my body? What memory or belief does it remind me of? What might this be trying to teach me? You'll be surprised how often the emotion has little to do with the moment and everything to do with your past. Most people exhaust themselves trying to control the uncontrollable. They try to control how others see them, how life unfolds, how the world reacts, and when it doesn't go their way, they suffer. This is the trap. The more you try to control the external, the more power it has over you. Need someone's respect. They now have power over your peace. Need a situation to go perfectly? You've made your happiness conditional. Need life to be fair? You're setting yourself up for constant disappointment. True power isn't about controlling the world. It's about mastering your perception of it. Carl Jung grasped something few ever do. The world is neutral. It's not good or bad, it just is. What makes it seem otherwise is the lens through which you view it. Think about it. Two people go through a breakup. One falls into despair. The other sees an opportunity for growth. The difference, perception, tool in action. Practice reframing. Instead of, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this showing me? Instead of, I can't handle. Try this is teaching me how strong I really am. This isn't toxic positivity, it's neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to create new interpretations, new habits, new strength. The moment you stop needing to control things, you start mastering the only thing that ever mattered, yourself. Here's a common misunderstanding. To be emotionally detached means you stop feeling, that you go numb, that you don't care. But that's not detachment. That's suppression. True emotional detachment means this. You feel everything, but you are owned by nothing. You are not cold, you're clear. You're not numb, you're neutral. You don't suppress your emotions. You understand them so deeply that they stop controlling you. Picture a thunderstorm, rain pouring, wind raging, but far above it, the sky is silent and untouched. You are not the storm, you are the sky. This is the goal of inner work, not to avoid emotion, but to become the observer of it, to pause before reacting, to see your emotions rise and not be swept away. Micro-practice. In moments of tension, try this. Pause. Take a deep breath. Name the emotion. I'm feeling anger. I'm feeling fear. Detach by saying, this is an emotion, not who I am. This simple mindfulness trick rewires your brain. It gives you space. And in that space, you reclaim your power. Here's what it looks like in real life. Someone insults you, you don't flinch. A plan falls apart, you don't panic. Life throws you a curveball, you adjust. Not because you've numbed yourself, but because you've trained yourself. Neuroscience now confirms what ancient wisdom always knew. Reactivity is a habit, and so is calm. You can literally rewire your brain to respond instead of react, to pause instead of panic, to reflect instead of explode. It starts with awareness, with catching that tiny moment before the reaction kicks in and choosing a different path. The Stoics called this the inner citadel, a mind that cannot be shaken, not because the world stopped being chaotic, but because you stopped handing over your peace. Training the untouchable mind, practice discomfort, sit in silence, observe without needing to fix, reflect on your reactions at the end of the day. What could you have seen differently? Replace emotional overthinking with physical grounding. Walk, stretch, breathe deeply. Freedom isn't found in controlling others. It's found in mastering the self. Life is a chessboard. Most people are pawns, reacting. But when you become the observer, you rise above the game. You don't just react, you see the pattern. You move with intention. This is emotional sovereignty. The person who cannot be triggered is the person who knows themselves fully. Because the deeper you know yourself, the less anyone can shake you. If someone calls you weak, but you've made peace with your vulnerability, it doesn't sting. If someone ignores you, but you're no longer seeking external validation, it doesn't hurt. If plans fall apart, but you've surrendered the illusion of control, it doesn't derail you. Ask yourself, what triggers me often? What is that showing me about myself? Where am I still handing over my power to people, situations, outcomes? Who would I be if nothing outside of me could disturb my peace? When you start living in that question, you stop playing defense. You stop trying to manipulate, fix, prove, and instead, you become the calm in the chaos. Here's the paradox. The moment you no longer need life to go your way, it often does because you're no longer chasing. You're aligned. You're no longer trying to force outcomes. You're flowing with reality. And people feel that. The energy shifts. Life begins to respond differently because you've changed. You stop needing success to feel worthy, and success flows more easily. You stop fearing judgment, and confidence becomes effortless. You stop resisting the moment, and everything begins to align. This isn't spiritual fluff. It's psychological truth backed by science. Final practice. Choose conscious response over emotional reaction. Every time you're triggered this week, pause and say, I'm not here to react. I'm here to observe. Journal your biggest lessons at the end of each day. Make self-awareness your superpower, because here's the ultimate truth. When you stop letting the world pull your strings, you become the one holding them. Master your reactions, and you master your reality. The path is not easy, but it is powerful. Not because you'll avoid chaos, but because you'll walk through it untouched. So ask yourself, are you ready to stop reacting and start reclaiming your power? If this resonated with you, drop a comment. What was your biggest realization? And if you're serious about becoming emotionally untouchable, hit that like button and subscribe, because the next step in this journey might just change the way you see everything. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.